Now, my students, welcome to today lesson, and the today lesson is concerned about musical instruments. Dialect, we are going to look on the meaning of musical instruments. Musical instruments are the device constructed or modified for the purpose of making music. Device for making music. Device for making music they are called musical instruments. And these musics are produced through vibration of air. You'll be asking, what is the principle of application of musical instruments? The principle of application of musical instrument is through vibrations of air. When air vibrates is where we are going to get music, and this is the principle of musical instruments. But how come air vibrates? This vibration can either be through vibrating string. That means you vibrate, you disturb the string to vibrate. If this is the string, you disturb to vibrate, it is moving up and down. Due to its vibration, due to its motion, it will cause the air around to vibrate. When the air vibrates, they will produce sound, and the sound is music. But also through blowing the air. If you blow the air, maybe by using your mouth, you will cause the air to vibrate. Due to the vibrations of air, you will cause it to produce music. Therefore, musical instruments works under the principle of vibration air, where the vibration of air can be either by vibrating the string or by blowing the air, etc. Have different methods of making music through musical instruments. After there, we have the types of musical instruments. We have three types of musical instruments. We have three types. One is called string instrument. That means the musical instrument which uses the string to vibrate air or to produce music. Second, we have percussion instruments. These ones, for example, drum produces music after striking one another. But also we have wind instruments which produces music through wind. These are the three types of musical instruments. Now let us begin with string instrument. As I have said earlier, are the instruments or are the musical instruments which produces sound by the use of string. Now the string can either be by plucking it or by bowing it or by striking it. For example, plucking, we have a device called a guitar. A guitar is the string instrument which produce music by plucking. Do you know the guitar has 6 strings, where, for example, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you are going to use your finger to pluck the string on the guitar so that you can produce music. You pluck it, you disturb it. But also you have bowed. Through bowed, For example, we have violin. Violin, it has 4 strings. We are going to use another device. Violin is always you hand it at the shoulder, and by using a bow, you use a bow and your finger to tune around so that you produce a musical sound. This is violin. But also have you can produce music into string instrument by using striking. Striking example, piano. I think most of you press the piano keys so that you can produce sound. Now look here. The big note here is, in most cases, the string, remember this instrument are made up string, but these strings are not at the same thickness. They differ in thickness, but also sometimes they differ in length. Therefore, why do you think the string instruments, their strings differ in thickness and in length? This is so as to produce different sounds. You know, one thickness and another differ in the frequency or the note or the pitch they produce. Therefore, thickness made the strings to produce different kind of sound. But also, you will find that most of the string instruments, they are connected to the whole box. For example, a guitar, at the end of the guitar, the strings are connected to the whole box. A whole box. The strings are connected with the box. Why do you think these strings are connected to the box? The box, when the string is for example bowed or plucked, it will cause the whole box to the air which is found in the whole box to vibrate. These vibrations will cause the increase in the note or on the increase in the musical sound. Therefore, always the string instruments are connected to the whole box so that to increase the volume of the sound. Now, due to this reason, we have some funny in finding if one has brain or not. You know what are we doing? We normally take a tuning fork. I could do this if we could during the opening of the school. This is the tuning fork. Now we are taking this tuning fork and we mount to a head of someone. Let us assume this is Machere head. Now we want to know if Machere has brain. Machere has brain. Now what are we going to do? This is Machere head. We want to know if Machere, the head of Machere has brain, is brave. We are going to disturb this tuning fork. If the tuning fork will result into the high vibrations, that means the head of Machere is empty, is the whole. But if the vibration will be low, that means the head of Machere is not empty, it has brain. Due to this concept, that's why most of the string instruments are connected to the whole box. Now that is all about string instrument. Now let us go to percussion instruments. The percussion instruments, these are very simple. Percussion instruments, these are very simple because are the musical instruments which produce music sound by being struck by instruments. You struck it by instrument. For example, a drum. I think you know a drum is like this way. If you want the drum to produce sound, you must have another device which is like this one, which is you struck to the drum so so that it can produce sound. Or we have something like those things which they are like small sphere. We normally do like this. You are striking against each other. They produce so that they can produce sound. Those are called percussion instruments. Now our study, let us go to wind instruments. The wind instruments are the instruments which produce sound but through vibration of air, and this vibration of air is caused by is due to blowing. When you blow your mouth to a certain instrument, here there is a certain device. Assume here there is your mouth. You will cause these air particles to vibrate, hence will produce sounds. And in most cases, the wind instruments, for example, we have many instruments, but let us assume this one here, which we call it a flute. They are made with holes. These holes, they are at different intervals or distance. Why do you think the holes are at different distance? So that and these holes are controlled by fingers. You take and you control it by finger. You are blowing your air through one end, but the other end you control it by opening the holes by using your fingers. Why? Because opening and closing the holes, that means you are going to produce different pitch. Through closing and opening while blowing, you are going to produce different pitch of sound from these musical instruments. That's why there is what? There is holes. But if all the holes are closed, for example, if we close all the holes, that means a low pitch will be produced because the length will increase. The length of the air to move from this point to the last will increase. Due to the increase in length, that means when the length increases, the note becomes low. But when the length decreases, the note becomes high. That is what is all about wind instruments. We have many examples of wind instruments, such as a flute, as I've said. We have a trumpet. We have recorders, etc., etc. But all of these, they're using this principle here in its operation. I hope you have understood about these types of musical instruments. Let us have a short break.